Okay, good evening. Chart review for 5/6/2019. Going to do a small little rant here, I guess, and say, if you're new to trading and you didn't think the markets were manipulated, today's probably like one of the best examples of the manipulation. As far as I could see, there was just no good news out there today, and when you get a 55-point rally straight from the bottom to the top, you got to know that this market's just completely manipulated. There was no news to drive this back up here like this, especially on the buying. They were 10,000 contracts in the hole right at this point, and bought 9,000, 7,000, 8,000 right there. So, they went 18,000 contracts just to put this market back up over here. And, it's hard to see, but they had that little fall right there. And you just put, close to 10,000 contracts on the losing side. So watch this thing. This thing's going back up. They can't lose all those contracts. They're gonna pile back in and drive this market back up. But so I was saying from the beginning today, I said, buy the dip. Kept on thinking that this was going to go. I didn't know it was going to go like this. Nobody knows it's going to go like this except the people with the money. But this market completely manipulated. Of course, it's been doing this for 10 years. I started trading back in 2008, and it's been pretty much going up every day. So something to understand if you don't really understand the markets, new to trading and stuff. Central banks are given a discount to buy the market. Of course, President Trump wants the market up. The Fed wants the market up. Basically everybody wants the market up. So news doesn't mean anything in the market. There's only a handful of companies that are actually like the majority of the market. There's a handful of tech big companies that basically make up the market. You could probably Google it and figure it out, but there's not a lot of companies, and as long as they're positive, the market's going to be positive. There's just nobody left to sell. Look up the story of the Walmart manager who became a millionaire, basically selling VIX contracts. He basically sells VIX contracts, which is pretty much the opposite of the market. It goes down every day. The VIX goes down every day. And he became a millionaire just basically selling volatility every day. It's just like buying the market every day. It just goes up and up and up. So always keep a very positive mind. If you're trading stocks, I think stocks are much harder to trade because they're more news related. They can have bad news and fall and stuff like that. Where the market, it goes up. If it falls, the Fed calls in the plunge protection team and they buy it. So just keep that in mind. It's how many red candles you got on here compared to the green candles. Anyways, not much to say. We had a fall after hours, and we traded all the way back down to here, which is of course on the top of this node right here. Talked about that in the morning video about how you kind of test the top of the nodes, and if you get a bounce there, then depending on how strong the bounce is, and then you go down and you'll test the bottom of the node. So right now this seems pretty positive. I think they'll maybe even get it back up here to the top right here where it closed. Yeah, not much. Way outside of the range of the day. You can see that volatility is back. This ATR just exploded. We went from I think it was 25 or something like that. So right here, yeah, 25 to to 28. So we moved three points on the volatility today. Huge volume right here. I pretty much talked about this area kind of being the place for a short. It tried. It just, it couldn't do it. It tried to sell, but market too strong. Continued up. It was pretty much a buy fest. Very hard to take a short when they're doing that. You can see basically where it came up to. It came right into this little gap right here, in this node right here. So we basically tested the bottom of this node right here, and it fell away. I think on the smaller time frame, you'll see they really had to grind through this particular node right here. So let's look at that. And so I think that node comes into play right basically here. So let's see if we can get a better chart. Yep, so right here they sold it, which was like the last line that I had on the chart. I was hoping that it was gonna hold. I actually took 2 trades off of this line. I took that first dip, and then when it came back, I took the second dip. I really thought this was going to be the holding level, but again, they stepped in, and this is where the buy program really took off, and they added that 18,000 contracts right here to put the market up and over. Lines were pretty good. Kind of hard to see on this compressed chart, but the levels were pretty much bouncing. So it was, if you took the short off of the levels when they came up, and then bought the levels when they came back for support, you did pretty good today. There were some levels that just couldn't reject it after the start of the morning, but I had a lot of good trades today, so the levels were working really good for me. Really was eyeing this place, and it worked out for me. I'm not sure what else to kind of tell you at this point. I mean, because it was a crazy day. Basically when this sold up into this area right here, it was going against this opposing sold back pound, and it was basically going against this opposing. That's where it found support, and it pretty much played that right. It broke through the level, went up, came back down, held on the node, broke up, came back down, held on the node. That's the true kind of pattern of a strong bull day, where it always finds support basically on the node that it is trading against. You gotta be bold and step up and buy at the top of the node, and get out if it doesn't hold the bottom of the node. Trying to see if there's any place like this one, right? This one came all the way back, came back to the bottom of the basically at the bottom of the node, and held right there. They tried to push it several times back up, went right against this opposing piece, that opposing piece. When you have 2 peaks like this on the move up, I tend to favor the closest one, the closest price action. So it's just something to keep in mind right there. Again, you pushed up, broke structure. You can see on the top of this node right here, they tried to go back up, right? You can see the tails, you can see the push, you can see the green bar. So they bought the top, it failed, weak bounce, came down, tested the bottom, and it was off. Couldn't break the top of the structure. This was the top line that I had in place, and basically sold back down at that point. And then it was basically back into this particular node right here. And let me see if I can find this. And if I pull this over, you're going to see the red line right there, that was the high volume point right there. But when you really got down to just looking at the very bottom of this node, see where the red line is? That's basically where it hit, caught fire, and was gone. You can see that I basically put these lines all over the place just to see where they're going to try and pull back to, whether there's strong support across the top or across the bottom. So you kind of have to sit there and kind of profile things and realize, the most current price action, which is this line going up right here, right, is going to be that one right there, and then this one right here. So that's kind of how I try and judge the pullback and where to, because it's a strong market, you kind of want to go with the trend. So you're looking to get on and try and go the other direction. You want to trade against the volume, right? It comes back to the volume. You want to have that as kind of your backstop, because whoever propelled this, hopefully they'll come back and propel it again. They don't want to lose on their contracts, right? Crazy market here on this on the buy here from the bottom. Not even close to the moving average and stuff, and then it got up here and kind of stalled out, and then it fell off. And you can see that we traded down basically into this node right here, and it's got pretty decent low volume right here, and then we bounced off of it. Good bounce back up. Now we're into this particular node, and we've got quite a bit of volume here. So, but never fear, they're gonna push this thing tonight. Like I said, they've got too many contracts on the positive side in this move to be underwater. So they will definitely save that. What else can I tell you? If you guys have questions about trading or anything, and you happen to watch the video, go ahead and leave a comment or something like that, and I'll be willing to answer questions about my trading. But we'll see you in the morning. Pretty exciting day. If you bought the dip, you go watch my morning video. I must have said, if you're brave enough to buy, it was probably a good opportunity, and that it sure worked out that way. So take care.